Also, really special night for our crew in that one. We'll talk to Mike about that. Meanwhile, our Michelle Montaigne is up north. She had a big district matchup. It would be Lewisville taking on Denton Guyer. And let's start right there because there were district championship implications on the line in this one. Michelle, tell us how it all played out there at C.H. Collins.
Well, it was certainly fun here tonight at C.H. Collins. In fact, during the first quarter, I was talking with a media colleague of ours, and he said, these two teams really don't like each other. And you could tell. I mean, it was a dogfight from the beginning of this one. And you could tell that each team really wanted to win it. Obviously, Denton Guyer coming into this game 5-0 in district play. And as you said, with a win over area-ranked Lewisville, could claim a share of the district title. But Lewisville, 7-1 record for their season coming in. And they wanted to take down the Wildcats. So as we take a look at how this game went down, we knew that the Fightin' Farmers were not going to make this one easy. It was all defense to start out, and after Guyer got on the board first, on the very next play, the handoff goes to Derek Martin. Martin finds one hole and then does the rest. 74 yards, cutting it back inside, rumbling, bumbling. He finds his way to the end zone on this one. We are all tied up at 7 after the first quarter. Then in the second, Lewisville with a 1-point lead, but Guyer sets up on the 4-yard line, and Caden Cobbs does the rest. One of Cobbs' 2 rushing touchdowns in that quarter alone. But with just seconds remaining in the half, Williams this time finds Trajan Miller through traffic from 12 yards out, and Lewisville takes a 1-point lead into the half. But it was all Guyer in the second. Cobbs with his 3rd touchdown of the game, and the Wildcats rolled to a 47-21 win. They are 6-0 in district play. Share of the district title. What does it mean to come out and beat Lewisville in the fashion that you guys did it?
I mean, this feels great. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I couldn't do it without our team. I mean, great coaching too. It's just an amazing feeling, amazing experience.
Carter, obviously loved hitting you tonight. You had over 170 yards in this one. Obviously, I know you wanted to get into the end zone, but just talk about how helpful you were to your quarterback tonight.
I mean, I did good, but I can't take all the credit. Quarterback throwing amazing passes, and our line amazing blocking to give us time to throw the ball.
I mean, the run after the catch was pretty impressive from you, but I hear you. Talk about that defense, not allowing a single second half point. Zane Rowe with some huge plays there on defense. What stood out to you most about their performance?
Well, they're an amazing defense. They always been. They always show up ready to play. All of them come out ready to play no matter what. You're
holding what is a share of the district title.
Yes, ma'am.
What did this one mean to you guys?
It means a lot. You know, we haven't won district since 2022, and we've been through a lot of adversity as a team. A lot of players come down injured, and we just decided to fight through all the adversity, you know, come together as a team and play off each other.
Your offense, obviously, pretty good night. 47 points will tell you that much. But you and this defense didn't allow a second half point. What changed in the second half for you guys?
We came together as a team. And, as I said, we're going to play off each other. We broke it down as a team, what was wrong, what assignments we blew as a team, and we decided to fix it in the second half.
You got to walk us through that. Forced fumble, run all the way back for a touchdown. What is going through a player in a moment like that?
I'll say it starts at practice. You know, we preach staying disciplined in our gaps, play off each other, and that's what we did. You know, Darian Neal, number 90, came in with a big strip sack, and I just played off of him, and I give all my credit to him on the play.
Favorite moment of this season so far?
Favorite moment of the season? First district win against Flower Mound. You know, we had a big game. We beat them by at least 40 points. So I'll say the first one of the district that really set it off and steamrolled it.
Yeah, and undefeated since in district play. Congratulations. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So he loved the first district win of the season. I know he loved the one they just got over Lewisville tonight, but I have to brag on Zane Rowe for just a second here because after the game was over, the Lewisville players, you could see how upset they were. It was written all over their face, and Zane went up to so many of them to say, hey, keep your heads up. You still have so much ahead of you. And it's true. I mean, this Lewisville team is now 7-2 on this season, but just a really impressive performance from that Denton Guyer defense, specifically in the second half, Joe. It was a dogfight in the first half, but then Denton Guyer came out and really put it to him in the second.
Yeah, Michelle, Denton Guyer with the inside track in that district, but you're right, you make a great point. I've seen Lewisville play this year. They play really hard, and we'll see what they can do once postseason comes around. Great stuff there, stick around. I might be talking to you later, but let's bring you back here to Rockwall. As I said, it's the big rivalry night. You know, this is for the bragging rights at the Whataburger down the street and the Raisin Cane's that stays open until 1 o'clock, right? You win this game, and then you can talk a little more smack afterwards when you go to those eateries late night after this big game. So it's Rockwall-Heath, and you can throw the records out in this one when they play. Let's take a look at some of the highlights in this one. Heath would actually take an early 7-zip lead, but Rockwall, they wasted no time coming back. Check out this highlight because it's going to come right into your living room. That's Brent Rickard. Perfect pass to Jack Duckworth, and that's a touchdown. We're tied at 7. Later in the first, it would be Heath QB Prosper Neal with a great fake. In fact, he faked out our cameraman, but then we get right back on him. He gets on his horse and goes into the zone to make it 14-7 Hawks. Then on the next possession, the Heath defense makes a play. That's Quincy Jones Jr. making nice music and a great pick. That sets up another Prosper Neal TD. Heath led 27-21 at halftime. And one highlight to show you from the second half, Heath QB Prosper Neal flips it out to Isaac Zmerzlikar. Touchdown there. And Heath wins the back and forth affair that just went final, 47-41. Meanwhile, earlier, I caught up with a former Heath Hawk standout. We want to talk to a man who knows all about this rivalry, former Rockwall-Heath quarterback, now TCU quarterback, Josh Hoover. Josh, being back here in this environment, man, what do you think? What comes to mind first?
Man, it's cool. It's cool to be back. I enjoy coming back. I haven't been able to make it back to a game in a couple years. Obviously been, busy in Fort Worth, but it's fun. I have such great memories being here, playing Rockwall, playing here at this stadium, and it's special. It's special to come watch.
I think you're right, because this rivalry has become so interesting. These games seemingly always competitive, Josh. You were in some thrillers, some overtime games.
Yeah.
Is there a moment, is there something that you really remember about playing in this game?
Man, it's cool to be able to play against, crosstown rivals, guys you've played against your whole life, goes back to junior high and before that. And so to be able to come out here in high school and play against those guys and just have fun and play in front of a community like this, it's special. And so, like you said, have some great memories, some big-time games, we were a part of, and it's always fun to play Rockwall.
The other thing about coming here is you really see the community aspect of it. And from being inside that community, what are your thoughts on kind of how this community came together, especially on this night every year?
Yeah, it's cool. The support you get. It's unlike any other high school rivalry, I think. It's a big-time rivalry. The entire city comes out and watches and supports. And, I have so many great memories of looking on the stands and it being a blackout and the other side's a whiteout, and just always cool. So it's, Rockwall, this whole community does a great job supporting the players, supporting the teams, the schools, and it's a great place to be.
So you got a week off from TCU this week, then you get right back at it with Iowa State. Just tell us where your head's at. You guys have won your last couple. It feels like you guys are getting things together and getting things rolling.
Yeah, you said it. We're trying to get things together, get rolling, carry on the momentum from the last couple weeks on to next week, and we know what's ahead of us. We got 4 big games, and we know what's at stake. A chance to be in the Big 12 championship game, and we're about to play 4 other teams that are thinking the same thing. So it's going to come down to a battle of will and execution and just doing your job.
And Josh is smiling right now because his Hawks just scored a touchdown. See, that's what happens, man. When you give me a little time, things just work out.
Yeah, you get on camera, maybe we start scoring. Maybe we should stay on. Let's keep scoring.
That's right, we'll keep going. Yeah. Hey, great stuff, Josh. Thanks so much.
Thank y'all.
Good luck at TCU.
Good to see y'all. Appreciate y'all.
A happy Hawk there is Team 1. Next stop, Prosper Walnut Grove hosting Melissa in a heavyweight bout. That's Walnut Grove striking first on the Cam Newton 1-yard touchdown. Wildcats led 7-zip. Second quarter, Cardinals answer. Brett Holloway keeps it himself and races for a 25-yard touchdown. Melissa trailed 14-13. Walnut Grove keeps rolling, though. QB Hayes Hackney to Hayden Cooley. 50-yard completion all the way to the 1-yard line, and that would set up this. Cam Newton, another touchdown run. He has 4 on the night, and Walnut Grove wins a shootout, a thriller, the final 38-35 there. Wow, tons of great football, and we got more, because now I'd like to check in on our Friday night football offering. It's Naaman Forest taking on Sachse. As always, our Mike Leslie was on the call there. Mike, tell us all about it.
Hey, Joe, thanks. Yeah, tonight was a really good football game. 2 teams that are battling for playoff positioning in District 9 6A. But in truth, the reason why we were here tonight was because it was a special night for our color commentator, Heckma Harrison. He's been part of our crew now for 4 seasons. And tonight, his son, Heckma Harrison II, a starting wide receiver for the Sachse Mustangs, played his final home game as a Sachse Mustang tonight, and his father got to call this football game. It was a very special night, and it did also turn into a terrific football game. Let's show you the highlights from how this one went down. Sachse fell in a hole early on because Naaman Forrest got a terrific touchdown catch from Madden Lee on this throw over the middle from Braylon Deal. I'm not sure how he hung on to that football. 7-0 Naaman Forrest, middle of the first quarter. Late first, back comes Sachse. Christian McCaffrey to Marcus Roden for the 33-yard touchdown, making guys miss, and it was 7-7. Naaman Forrest would kick a field goal, lead 10-7, and then Dirk Williams would answer after Roden finishes doing the thriller. Williams with the touchdown run, 14-10 Sachse. They led 14-12 at the break. Third quarter, Roderick Rainwater, the running back for the Sachse Mustangs, taking this one 16 yards for the touchdown. It was 21-12 Sachse heading to the fourth. In the fourth, Naaman Forrest would respond. Deal to Lee again. This one a terrific throw from Braylon Deal, playing quarterback in some spot duty tonight because of injury. 21-19. So Sachse hanging on to the lead late in the fourth, and it's Heckma Harrison II that makes the big 3rd and 10 reception. Takes it for 28 yards down the sideline. First down, Sachse. They're able to bleed off some more clock and then finish it off with the LaDainian Jones touchdown run. 28-19, the final score. Sachse gets the win and improves to 5-2 in district play and moves right to the precipice of a playoff spot. They are in very good shape with 1 week to go in the regular season as they hunt after a playoff berth out of 9-6A. Joe, it was a really cool night tonight. The moments that tonight delivered for Heckma Sr. were really, really, really cool. And to see his reaction when his son made that big 3rd down reception that kind of salted the game away. That was the moment where it was like, all right, Sachse's going to win this football game. That moment all by itself made tonight worth it. So very, very cool night and a very important win for the Sachse Mustangs as well.
Well, you know, community is such a big part of why we do this show. It's why you do Friday Night Football. And I just think it was a great idea to give Heckma that opportunity, right? Because we talk about faith, family, and football, and giving him a chance to see his son on his senior night. I know you probably had to help your partner a little bit to get through it, Mike, but what was that like for Heckma?
Oh, buddy. Yeah. You know what? And I feel like it was, as much as it was a really cool moment for Heckma and his family, for sure, it was also just an example of what is happening all over the state. This happened with more eyeballs on it and with more glitz, I suppose, because we were here to do the broadcast. But that story that Heckma and Heckma II and the entire Harrison family lived out tonight is happening all across the state right now. Kids are playing their final home games tonight. Maybe the final football games they'll ever play on a home field ever in their careers. And as much as it is a somber moment in a lot of ways for these kids, it is also a celebration of these kids and everything that they have accomplished. So we got to see that in full display for Heckma and Heckma II and their entire family. But that story is happening all over the state and will continue to happen all over the state next week and into the playoffs as well. This is why these kids do it, is to look back on these memories. And they made a couple of memories in the Harrison family tonight.
No doubt about it. These are the moments. These are the moments. Great stuff, Mike. Great stuff. We appreciate it. All right, we got more highlights, though, so let's get right to them. We had Waxahachie at Lancaster. More district implications at the top of the table in this one. So let's check out the highlights brought to you by our friends at TSP. The Indians strike first on a double reverse flea flicker. Jerry Meyer III finds Cohen Brown wide open for the 55-yard touchdown, and Hatchie went on top 7-zip. They keep it going. Second quarter, Jordan Smith burst through the line for the 20-yard touchdown. Indians taking control up 14-zip. And then how about this? The Indians line up for the punt, but it's a fake. Caden Dollison would get to the sideline. He outruns everybody for the 58-yard touchdown. What a play. Hatchie up 24-7 at the half. They go on to win it 38-21. Elsewhere in 11-6A, DeSoto looking to keep pace with Waxahachie, taking on Skyline. The Eagles would pour it on early. Sarad Baker takes the handoff, jukes a defender at the line, splits a pair, and he's gone. 61 yards, Eagles flying out the gate. They were up 14-zip. Skyline trying to respond on the next possession, but DeSoto's defense rises up. Terrence McKnight forces the fumble, and then Quentin Billing returns it 27 yards for that touchdown, and the Eagles get the easy win on this night, 56-zip, the final there. And listen, we talk a lot of football, we've talked about some family, but there's even more involved in these Friday Night Lights. We don't like to forget about the bands. We love the bands, so right now it's time to strike up the band. That's the Rockwall-Heath band, and listen, they deserve to get the spotlight because their team wins. And as a note, they are actually headed to the UIL state competition on Monday and Tuesday. Rockwall headed there as well. They got qualifying prelims on Monday, then the big shows on Tuesday. Of course, we wish them all the luck in the world. All right, let's bring the group back as we put a wrap on Week 10 and what turned out to be just a bunch of really good football games. And Michelle, I want to start with you because Denton Geyer has shown just how good they can be in several past seasons. I'm curious what you saw tonight and how far you think this iteration of the Wildcats can go.
You know, I think they can go as far as their own, determination this season will let them go. Their quarterback, Carter Morgan, who ended up passing for, it was over 250 yards tonight, wasn't the quarterback that started the game. Like, there was so much team effort. There was so much, as Zane told us post-game, picking each other up. And you saw a defense that, for the most part of the first quarter and all of the second half, completely shut down this Lewisville team. And when you have a defense that plays with that much intensity, even when you're up by double figures and they're still sacking the quarterback late in the fourth quarter, they're still strip sacking him and, running 64 yards for a touchdown. Like, that level of intensity and effort on the defensive side of the ball obviously speaks volumes. And then you have a team that can put up 47 points, and that tells you all you need to know about this Denton Geyer offense. So I think to answer your question, Joe, this team can go as far as the collective effort will take them this year. And as Zane told us post-game, they hadn't won district since 2022. That is something that these players know and care about and remember, and in a lot of cases want to change if they're, in a 3-year drought.
All right, great stuff there. And then, Mike, why don't you give us a preview of what you got on Friday Night Football next week?
Yeah, it should be a really good football game. Highland Park, one of the top 5A Division I teams in the state, the front runners within that district, but the Midlothian Panthers, the only team in the district now left with one loss in district play, taking on the undefeated in district Highland Park Scots in Highlander Stadium. Tough place to go get a win, but if Midlothian can do so, they could earn a split of the district title with Highland Park and obviously would have the head-to-head in that conversation as well. So tantamount to a district title game a week from now on Friday Night Football at Highlander Stadium. First time we have ever had the chance as a Friday Night Football production to go do a game at Highlanders, so we're looking forward to that as well.
Should be great stuff. High leverage football at the end of the season. You can't beat it. Great job, Mike. Great job, Michelle. And just a final word for me here from Rockwall. a big thanks to everybody here because the hospitality, whenever I come out here, is fantastic. These football games, this rivalry game is really good. They just continue to deliver. So thanks so much, Rockwall, for making it a great night. And congrats to those Rockwall-Heath Hawks who've got bragging rights for a year. All right, that'll do it for this edition of Friday Night Football, the fifth quarter. Here's hoping you have a wonderful football weekend. I'm Joe Trahan. Good night.